foundation. The word shallow and deep refer to the depth of soil in which the foundation is made. Shallow foundation can be made in depth of as little as 3 feet or 1 meter, while deep foundations can be made at depth of 60 to 200 feet or 20 to 65 meter. Shallow foundations are used for small, light buildings, while deep ones are for large, heavy buildings. Shallow foundation. Shallow foundations are also called spread footings or open footings. The open refers to the fact that the foundations are made by first excavating all the earth till the bottom of the footing and then constructing the footing. During the early stages of work, the entire footing is visible to the eye and is therefore called an open foundation. There are several kinds of shallow foundation, such as individual foundation, strap foundation, combined foundation, raft or mat foundation. We will talk about types of shallow foundation in detail. So let's start from the individual foundation. Individual foundations are one of the most simple and common types of foundation. These are used when the load of the building is carried by columns. Usually, each column will have its own foundation. The foundation is just a square or rectangular pad of concrete on which the column sits. To get a very rough idea of the size of the footing, the engineer will take the total load on the column and divide it by the safe bearing capacity of the soil. For example, if a column has a vertical load of 10 tons and the safe bearing capacity of soil is 10 tons per meter square, then the area of the footing will be 1 meter square. In practice, the designer will work at many other factors before preparing a construction design for the footing. Individual foundations are usually connected by a plinth beam Combined footing. Combined footing is constructed when two or more columns are close enough and their isolated or individual footings overlap each other. It is a combination of isolated footings, but their structural design differs. The shape of this footing is rectangle and is used when loads from structure is carried by the column. Strap footings are commonly found in load-bearing masonry construction and act as a long strap that supports the weight of an entire wall. These are used where the building loads are carried by entire walls rather than isolated columns, such as in older buildings made of masonry. Raft and mat foundations. Raft or mat foundations are the type of foundation which are spread across the entire area of the building to support a heavy structural load from column and wall. The use of mat foundation is for columns and walls foundations, where the loads from structure on column and walls are very high. This is used to prevent differential settlement of individual footings, thus designed as a single mat of all the load-bearing elements of the structure. These foundations should not be used where the groundwater table is above the bearing surface of the soil. Use of foundation in such conditions may lead to scour and liquefaction. As now you understand the shallow foundation and types of shallow foundation. So now let's talk about the deep foundation. Deep foundation are those foundations which can be made at depth of 60 to 200 feet or 20 to 65 meter depth. Deep foundations are subdivided into two categories: pile foundations and drill shafts or caisson foundation. So let's talk about the pile foundation first. A pile is basically a long cylinder of a strong material such as concrete that is pushed into the ground so that structure can be supported on top of it. Pile foundations are used in the following situation. Number 1. When there is a layer of weak soil at the surface, this layer cannot support the weight of the building, so the loads of the building have to bypass this layer and be transferred to the layer of stronger soil or rock that is below the weak layer. Number 2. When a building has a very high concentrated loads, such as in high-rise structure, pile foundations are capable of taking higher loads than grid footings. Pile foundations are generally used for sites where soil condition near the ground surface is not suitable for heavy loads. The depth of hard rock strata may be 5 meter to 50 meter deep from the ground surface. Pile foundation resist the load from structure by skin friction and by end bearing. Use of the pile foundation also prevents differential settlement of foundation. As of now, you know about the pile foundation, so let's talk about the caisson foundation. Caisson foundation is also known as drill shafts. It is a type of deep foundation and has action similar to pile foundation discussed already, but are high capacity cast in situ foundation. It resists load from structure through shaft resistance, toe resistance, and or combination of both of these. Drill shafts can transfer column loads larger than pile foundations. It is used where depth of hard strata below ground level is located within 10 meter to 100 meter. Drill shafts or caisson foundation is not suitable when deep deposits of soft clays and loose water-bearing granular soil exist. Thanks for watching.